SVM's application to sustainability.
Most strategic management and business strategies books do not talk about ethics or sustainability, probably under the mistaken belief that this is not business. In other words, there is no place for ethical conduct in business. Apparently there is no ethical concern behind differentiation, low-cost strategies, the marketing 4 Ps, lending or borrowing, partnering, and so on. But SVM is a completely different approach that shows that ethics and strategy are deeply interconnected. SVM proposes that behind every decision there is a need to maximize stock value. Pay special attention to the word maximize. The EVA model introduces a dramatic insight that most business managers ignore. To maximize stock value, firms need to have a positive EVA, or in other words, be more profitable than the average firm. This has powerful consequences, as 50% of the firms automatically destroy stock value and the ones that create value need to compete fiercely to remain so. This puts a tremendous pressure on managers, which is transmitted to the entire economic system. As we saw earlier, to maximize EVA, firms need to maximize market power, by satisfying consumers more than the competition. This can produce negative social distortions. The need to control consumers leads to consequences, which include abuses in advertising, manipulation of consumer autonomy, advertising of alcohol and tobacco, violence in movies and music, a high-interest loan market and financial greed, financial speculation, product liability, product safety and risks, consumer health, genetically modified products, protection of infants, deception and bluffing in sales, false information about a product or service, false price claims, bait-and-switch practices, and unfulfilled promises. The need to outperform the competition leads to actions such as unfair competition, abuse of monopoly power, dumping, contributions to political parties, espionage, and bribery. The EVA has a second dimension, the need to grow, which has an impact on the third dimension described earlier, that is, resources, such as the environment and human resources. The abuse of environmental resources produces air, water, and land pollution, depletion of resources, environmental accidents, bioengineering abuses, global warming, acid rain, ozone layer depletion, and hazardous waste. The abuses of human resources produces employee screening, overwork, sweatshops, employees a lack of privacy, discrimination, workplace safety, downsizing, layoffs, and abuses in executive pay. The financial meltdown of 2008 showed how global financial funds abused their superior knowledge and financial resources to manipulate markets, thus producing catastrophic consequences. According to McKinsey, global funds are 4 times larger and grow 2 times faster than global annual GDP. When the real estate market started to weaken in 2002, fund managers moved to oil, pushing the price from $25/barrel, 2002, to $100, 2008, an increase of 300%. The same happened with other commodities, food, feedstuff, beverages, and industrial raw materials, which increased their prices by 150% during the same period, while global inflation was 25% and global GDP growth was 34%. Data from the Economist Intelligence Unit, IU. Even worse, this speculation on commodities was the main reason for the inflation during those years that led central banks to raise the interest rate from 1% in 2003 to 5.25% in 2006, IU, which triggered all the negative effects on the population. Speculation has existed for centuries. But the bad news now is that the speculators are global giants and that globalization leaves governments with little power to control them. SVM explains such excesses of the system and the need of firms to maximize stock value. It addresses abuse of market power and the tendency toward win-lose interactions between the investors and other stakeholders, In the middle of the real estate crisis of last year, many people could not sell their houses unless they reduced prices drastically. People could not stop using gas, in spite of its high price, and could not stop eating even though grain prices increased, and so on. Individuals experienced the win-lose power of speculation. The global funds won, you lost. Countries that suffered speculative attacks on their currencies can state their devastating effects: financial systems meltdowns, savings and pension funds evaporated, prices of house fell to 1/3, and so on. The multi-billionaire bailouts provided by the IMF in the U.S. Treasury will have to be paid for many years by us and our children in terms of new government debt and taxes. Although global funds had yields between 100 and 200% in short periods, the people were left in devastating conditions.